Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Now, we've been decoding the Bible extractions as per viewer request, and we have gotten almost all the way through. We're down to random hits, and that's basically running this code, these letters by themselves with no category attached to them, trying to find anything different than we found before. Now, of course, some of those same stuff comes up, but as this evolves now, by the time we get to random, we're literally looking for something else, anything else that may be there. So um, I'm going to provide a link where we correctly did these extractions. They take about 5 minutes, and that adds 5 minutes to each video. So trying to cut these videos down because it's a 60-letter decode. We're just going to tell you I'll just tell you the extraction, show them to you, and then I'll provide a link where we correctly extracted them for those that want to see how we did that if you haven't already, and we'll provide that all in the description. So it goes INWFAYWNELSRPASEDBHWHTESPASSAGAIN. There's your AI. STSDBRMATCOUCHWINKINSBOTTL. All right. Now, we've already ran these forwards and backwards through finance or stock market. That's one category, basically. A lot of stock market. Genetics, medical, chemical, technology. And now we're running random. And of course, there is still translations, but guys, again, there's the translations. I don't hold out much hope for finding. I don't know how to say this correctly. There's 60 letters, and we have 21 letters of the alphabet, and it would be extensive to get all the translations. But we'll see what we can do. We came across one already. Running this, it was S is he, ES is he in Spanish, but I didn't include that because that goes in translations, right? So, now we're coming backwards. We've already went forwards in random hits. Now we're coming backwards. And we start with LTT, which, by the way, well, there it is. Whoop. There, whoop. Yep, yep. There are your extractions. You can pause it and take a look, write them down, whatever you want to do. So you have LTT, which ends up being Lockman Yatalag T Station, and this is a train station. And this has train schedules. Mumbai. We've had Mumbai, India before. I think that's Mumbai, India. Now, another interesting thing is this is a train station schedule. We had an air nav. We had a plane schedule. And beyond that, we had automobile hits. So planes, trains, and automobiles, like the old John Candy movie. It's all in here. So that's kind of interesting. Infrastructure. That's what you're dealing with. We had some infrastructure hits on the stock market also. So, but if you move on from that, you have OBS, and that ends up being OBS Incorporated Specialty Vehicles and Body Shop. Specialty vehicles. We've had automobile hits before, the ASE and a couple of other various things that I wasn't sure if they were relevant. But it's looking a little more relevant because now there's more automobile stuff in here. So it's kind of interesting. And if you move on from that, you have NIK, which ends up being NIK enzyme system. All right. NIK enzyme system. It doesn't want to come up. There it is. Easily screen and profile NIK kinase inhibitors. substrate, it includes kinase substrate reaction buffer. All right. So you got an enzyme system. And then if you move on from that, you have NIWH, which ends up being National Institute of Whole Health. National Institute of Whole Health. Educate, advocate, coach. They do some training, it looks like. So give your patients evidence-based whole health information to prevent disease and improve their well-being through self-directed, sustainable lifestyle change. Educate, activate, coach. So you got a health institute, and that's pretty interesting because of all the other health stuff we got, right? But if you move on from that, you have RDBS, which ends up being Radio Broadcast Data System. Radio Broadcast Data System. I might have closed it. Nope, that's something else. So I did close it. So that's what happens when I get too many windows. Excuse me for that. It's RBDS, and I'll be able to. Yeah. Regional Database Management System. That's what I got, right? Oh, RD, it's RBDS. Well, heck, if you flip those letters, you got Regional Database Management System. All right, well, that's interesting because a computer would certainly flip those letters, but let's run them correctly so I can tell you what I found. Radio Data System. Radio Broadcast Data System. Yeah, I'm reading Wikipedia. Just a minute. I had something down here to read. Right here, the Radio Broadcast Data System, RBDS, on a Ford Focus radio allows you to search FM radio stations that play music with a specific category. Yes, RBDS, and RDS PTY codes and program types. So, the North American Radio Broadcast Data System, and codes used to identify them both. RDS, Radio Data System. So, it's Radio Broadcast Data System. I don't want to get too much more into it. Taking some time, but it's there. I don't know how significant it is, but it's there. It's in there. And again, take what you want from it. But it's in these changes. If you agree with the changes, these are the things that are there. So if you move on from that, you wind up with CuO. And CuO ends up being cupric oxide, CuO. And that is a copper, I believe, oxide, copper processing. So yeah, it's a copper oxide, cupric oxide, CuO. All right. And you can read all about it. I'll provide the link. If you move on from that, you have CTAM, CTAM, which ends up being CTAM. And they are a collaborating market initiative. We direct collaborative marketing initiatives so our members can achieve greater success by working together and ultimately better serve the millions of people they engage every day. And it says above that, it says we believe that connectivity has the power to transform lives. Connectivity. All right. Well, we had TE connectivity, and they dealt with medical devices, right? As I recall it. Actually, I got those two mixed up, which might be the problem. Yep. Okay, I can close this. Excuse me, guys. I just went out of order. So if you move on from that, what you have is RBDS, Radio Broadcast Data System. The Radio Broadcast Data System is the official name. Radio Broadcast Data System is the official name used for the US version of RDS, though the RDS name seems to be at least as common in daily usage. All right, so I'll let you read about that, guys. We got CTAM, RBDS. Then you move on from that, you have TSNI, which ends up being Techniscan Incorporated common stock on OTC markets. All right. Well, that didn't necessarily come up on our stock market search, but down here is AT&T and Sprint and Macy's, and we've had all of them before in related markets, right? So that's interesting. But moving on from that, you end up with AGA, which ends up being a couple of things. American Gastroenterological Association. You also have American Gas Association, clean natural gas. And you also have Association of Government Accountants, Association of Government Accountants. Well, AGA, well, that's what they call it. As I found out, it's federal corporation. So actually, the correct term should actually be Association of Federal Corporate Accountants. But they call it government, and they're, most of the people buy it. You also have AGA Appliances, American Galvanizers Association, so it does go on, and there are other things. You have AGA Cookers, AGA Ranges, so you deal with technology there. So you got a few things with that, but I'm not going to spend much more time on it. You got a few things with AGA for random. And if you move on from that, you have SSAP, which ends up being Statement of Statutory Accounting Principles, SSAP. The National Association of Insurance Commissioners adopted the Statement of Statutory Accounting Principles, SSAP, number 92, accounting for post-retirement benefits other than pensions, SSAP number 92, and SSAP number 102, accounting for pensions, SSAP number 102. All right. In March 2012, the effective date of adoption is January 1st, 2013, with early adoption permitted. All right, so that is the best way to do it is read it. Statement of Statutory Accounting Principles, and it's in there. How significant? I'm not sure. By the time we get to random hits, we pretty much squeezed most of the goodies out of these, but there are other things, as it turns out. And whether they're important or not, I'm not sure. Probably. And if you move on from that, you have PSET. And that ends up being PSET Lab. Now, it's not a lab like you might think. PSET Lab. If you struggle to tackle your homework or have challenges mastering core course concepts and want to create a path to success, visit the Problem Solving and Economics Tutoring Lab. All right. PSET is designed to help you learn to tackle problems successfully by having a grad or undergrad help you think through a problem right when you get stuck. PSET lab location, economics building, see below for specific rooms. So they're a lab that helps you tackle problems. And that was the most relevant thing I saw. How relevant? I'm not sure. But if you move on from that, you have HW, and that ends up being HW Group. HW Group is a Czech dynamic technological company specialized in development, manufacturing, and distribution of LOT, remote monitoring and control solutions for a wide range of segments. So then it goes on to talk about these wide range of segments. But I don't think we need to get into that. They deal with technology. And they're a Czech technology company. So if you move on from that, you have HBD. And HBD ends up being HBD gene, and it is a protein coding gene. And for some reason, it did not come up in the genetic search. But here it is in random. Or I didn't see it. Maybe if I'd have scrolled 10 pages down or something, I would have saw it. But we ended up with something else for HBD. It was, I don't really want to spend the time to go back and look, but it wasn't this. This is a protein coding gene, guys. Hemoglobin subunit delta. All right. So I'll let you read all about that. And if you move on from that, you have SES, which ends up being Synthesis Energy Systems Incorporated on the NASDAQ. Again, we didn't get that in stock market hits, but here it is in random hits. So SES, Synthesis Energy Systems Incorporated, NASDAQ. All right. Well, if you move on from that, you have APS, and this has got a few things going on with it. You have APS Physics. You have Association for Psychology, which we've had psychological hits on this already. And you have American Physiological Society, APS Physics. And you also have Association for Psychological Science, APS. Psychological stuff. Yep, American Psychological Society. So that's really what you got. You got those, and I'll provide those links or the search. I'm not sure which. When it comes down to it, I'll decide. So if you move on from that, you have RLE, which ends up being RLE International. RLE International Group. The RLE International Group is one of the world's leading development, technology, and consultation service providers to the international engineering industries. All right. Well, that seems important. But yeah, that's there. If you move on from that, I'm sorry, guys. This really is. We're almost done, but this is a lot of information, and sometimes I get overloaded. So, if you move on from that, you have NOYA. That ends up being Isabel Noya Group of Environmental Biology. But here's the catch. I can't get into it. I'm not authorized to get into this particular site. I'm not authorized to access this page. What I am authorized to access is Contact Us. And there it tells you Group of Environmental Biotechnology, Department of Chemical Engineering, School of Engineering. So you're dealing with chemical engineering and biotechnology. All right. Beyond these guys, that was the one I couldn't get into. So I found that real interesting anytime I'm not authorized to get into a website. That's kind of interesting to me. You also have NOYA Psychological Services, LLC. Oh, psychologist, Miami Springs, Florida. So here's some more psychology. So environmental biotechnology and NOYA Psychological Services. And we just got done reading about American Psychological Association, right? Well, here we are again. So coincidence, right? And if you move on from that, really, you have I or FWNI. And FWNI ends up being Four Winds Nature Institute, a nonprofit organization advancing and understanding, appreciation, and protection of the environment. All right. Now, why would that be of interest? Well, the National Wildlife Federation was all over this, along with the corporate or federal corporation, and now you have a nature institute. So think of the National Wildlife Federation, and you see a connection right there. So we put them down, and that gets you through going forwards and backwards now. This was just backwards in random hits. So I will, and that's what's in there, guys. I'll say it again. You know, you guys, anybody can think what they want, why it's there, but it's definitely there, and it's definitely a pattern. And there's little patterns, and within these patterns that we're seeing. So, um, anyway, the very next thing I will do is, and by the way, Merry Christmas or Christmas Eve, whenever this uploads. I meant to say that in the beginning, but I'll say it now for anyone who's still with us. But after this, I will probably try a translation run, see what I get. If I get something, we'll post it. If we don't get anything that we can really use or look at, then we will move on and put numbers to these letters, numerological numbers, and then we'll start running the categories again and see what information comes up. So, and then we'll run those numbers against all of our circled entities or companies and see where the numbers go and see where the numbers don't go. And then we'll see if who might be using the quantum network on a deal like this. So we got a few things to go. We got to come through the numbers. We'll still have to do our binary code. We'll still have to do regular binary code. And somewhere in all this, we will get out our video on EHS. Now, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, and I've been doing good to get the videos out that we've been getting. My fiance is not really up to it, doing a video. Hasn't been. And she thought she was going to be, and then stuff goes down, and then she doesn't. She's not ready. So, and again, it's one of those that's becoming more complicated as we go. So it's one of those things that's going to take some concentration and some thought, especially where a lot of people think that this stuff is other things, and some people are going to be, probably not like the information that we have, I suppose, but it's the information that we have, and it's what's going on. So anyway, we'll do that when we can. It is important. We do need to get it out there for anyone that'll listen, so that people know what's going on as well. And again, that was something we found in changes. We found it in Pinball Wizard, is where we found electromagnetic hypersensitivity. And there's a lot more going on with that than meets the eye. So that's going to be it for now, guys. Really, slipping all that in there. And thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions, guys. And thanks a lot for watching. And again, that pretty much takes you through the letters. We'll see what the translations get, if anything, and we'll move on to numbers. So thanks for now for watching. And for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.